All right. It's pretty impressive. We have Adam with live, well, we had Adam with live video and then he went away. You were just teasing me, right, Adam?
Back on. Yeah, I figured
all right.
I'd just show you.
All right, Danny. I don't know who Danny is, but we'll see. All right, we'll start. My name is Mike Willman. It is Thursday, the 19th of November. This is BUA 220-100, which is also known as Principles of Marketing, one of the great intellectual and academic exercises ever attempted anywhere on this planet. It is fall 2020, and we're going to talk about the final paper or project, plus whatever anybody else wants to talk about. Danny, what is your last name, Danny?
Baker.
Baker. All right. Let me just pretend that I'm paying attention here. So Danny Baker and Dustin Hall and Adam DeSantis. Okay. So, number one, thank you for being on the call. Hopefully it will prove to be of some value to you. Let's start by, is there something particular on the minds of any of you? Adam, I did not look at your point total recently, nor yours, Dustin, nor yours, Danny. The last time I looked, Dustin, you were actually in pretty decent shape, amazingly enough. I don't know how that happened. It was probably some kind of administrative error on my part.
Maybe a miracle or something.
Hey, it's that winter holiday time, you know? I mean, who knows what's going to happen. So Danny and Adam, if I looked at what your point totals are, would I be going, and would there be projectile vomiting all over my screen? Or would I say, these are guys who are all over this?
Oh, you would not be projectile vomiting, I promise you that.
Okay. Would that be because I have a very strong stomach, or because your point totals would at least be within spitting distance of decent?
Spitting distance of decent, yes.
All right, Danny, how about you?
I think it's all right.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. Well, here's my message to you in case it's not. We have roughly 3 weeks left in the semester, which from my point of view is plenty of time to get your academic S's into a point where, you know, you would be satisfied with the outcome. If you have stuff that's overdue, I can't in good conscience say I'm going to give you full credit for it, but I can in good conscience say that I will appreciate the effort at the last minute, and you will, if you're a reasonable person, be satisfied with the outcome in terms of a grade. All right? Can't do it for you, but I can open the door. I can hold the door open. It's a little cold out, probably freeze my butt off, but I'll hold the door open, and I will leave it up to you. All right. Dustin, anything in particular on your mind? Or are you just here to suck up?
Mainly to suck up.
Okay.
I guess. I did a chunk of the discussions yesterday. I still have like 5 or 6 more to do until I'm fully caught up on those. I missed a due date for one of the smart book things, but that's only one right now. And then what's up?
Did you try to go back and do it?
The smart book?
Yeah. I mean,
no, it was one that was due on the 12th, I think, or the 5th. I can check right now.
Well, here's my question. If you don't want to do it because you don't feel that, you know, in the great scheme of things, it's how you want to spend your time, that's fine. I can't remember whether in this class I set this up. Whoops, Francine Harris. Okay. Whether I set this up to deny you access after the due date, or whether I just set it up to, so to speak, mark it late. If you want to do it and you can't get in, let me know and I'll go back and I'll change it.
So what it usually does for me, whenever I try and go back and do it, is it'll put me into this like practice mode. And it says that I can work on this assignment. but it will not be submitted for any sort of grade.
All right, if that happens, I will, look, I believe in the honor system in this sense. If you tell me something happened, I'm not gonna say, well, do you have any proof? So if you went back to quiz 10 and it didn't let you in, but you did the practice version, send me an email. I'll give you credit for it. You know, late credit, but I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
So what I don't want to do is have any aspect of the Learn Smart system or the Blackboard system become an impediment if you're trying. So that's where we are. Hello, Francine. Hi, Francine. Francine, say hello, damn it.
Hi. I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute. Hi, hello, everyone. How are you?
We're all good. We're just having the most fun ever. We've had so much fun actually in the last couple of minutes that Danny has asked if we could do this every night at 7 o'clock. And I've said, no, it's really, you know, adjunct enough to do that. And I would run out of material. All right. So pretty much right now, Francine, we're talking about work that's past due or anything that's on your mind before I get to the final project. So Dustin, am I done with you now?
Yeah, the only thing, excluding final project stuff that isn't handed in are a few discussions and just chapter 12 in the Smart Book.
Just do them.
Yep.
Danny,
So,
anything on your mind in particular?
You know, I missed the that peer review. I guess that's probably too late to go back and do that, though.
That's fine. Go ahead and do it.
Okay.
My basic approach is that there are lots of reasons why things don't get done on time. I respect people who do them on time. I'm not going to be a prick about stuff that's late. In this environment with a lot of constraints on people generally, I'm happy just to see the effort. So go ahead and do it and we'll be good to go. All right. Adam, anything on your mind?
yeah, so are we getting marked for the peer reviews? Because I sent my peer review to the person who's after me, but the person before me didn't send me theirs. So will I be marked off for that?
No, you will in fact get full credit. So what you have to do, what I would like you to do is send me an email and just say, I sent mine to Mary Jones, but Jim Johnson didn't send me his. And I will go into Blackboard and you will get full credit.
Okay.
So
And
go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. The other thing was I think I missed SmartBook number 10 because I meant to submit it, but I don't remember what occurred. But I think I forgot to submit it at the end of the week.
You were drunk.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance, but I can't make any promises. But yeah, I forgot to submit it, and I'm pretty sure I still have an A, but I don't know. I might have like an 89 or something. Like, can I get like some credit for that if I turn it in?
Absolutely. Same thing I just said to Dustin. If it doesn't let you submit it for credit, send me a note. Say, I just finished chapter 47, but I couldn't, get Blackboard to accept it, or I couldn't get Learn Smart or SmartBook to accept it.
That's fair.
I'm going to take you at your word. You don't have to do it. You can lie to me. I'd prefer that you not, but just let me know. I'll handle it. Anybody who's making the effort, I will handle in a way that I think will be more than fair.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so that's Dustin, Danny, Adam. Francine, how are you?
I'm okay.
All right, so you don't want us to see you, I understand.
I'm a little under weather, honestly. I'm a little under the weather, so I think it's smart.
The four, images I see up on the screen now, including my own, this is not like stuff that's gonna make it into the next issue of Vogue, so I wouldn't worry about it, but, or even the next issue of Popular Mechanics for that matter. All right, so my question, Francine, is there anything in particular on your mind that relates just to you before we get on to the project?
Well, I think both gentlemen answered them. The one is I did send my peer review. I didn't get a response. And then I received the peer review, but I haven't typed his response. So I'm gonna I wanted to make sure I could still make a response.
Absolutely. Please do that, and then send me a note, and I will see that the grades reflect your effort.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, and in my outline,
Yeah. Here's the deal. And I'm recording this, so I'm aware that this will live for posterity. In terms of following the rules, this class sucks. That's a technical academic term. You guys have probably never heard it before, but the number of people who first gave me the outline with their product or service and then followed up with a draft of a situation analysis, I could count on these many fingers. And this is a class with 44 people in it. I don't know where, without looking at where you guys stand on that, but I'm going to guess that you suck too. But again, remember, that's not the way you use that term. That's in the strict academic sense of the word suck, all right? So,
Okay.
Dustin, did you do either the outline or the draft?
No.
Danny,
I did the outline.
okay. Adam,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
oh, don't do that.
I must have looked at the dates wrong because I could have swore it said later in November, but so no, I did not do it.
All right.
Yet.
And Francine, what about you?
no, I didn't.
Okay. It's a good thing I can't see your face, Francine, because like I would scowl. I would like look mean.
Well, I actually started the outline. I just didn't finish it.
And you know, when it gets to the middle of December, I'm going to start calculating your grade, but I don't think I'm going to finish it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I understand. Fair is fair.
No, my message is the same for all of this. Do it, send it to me, and we'll work it out. You don't do it,
Okay.
then you leave me really no choice. All right?
Okay.
Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Is there a cutoff to when you'll stop accepting late stuff?
Yeah, December 8th,
December 8th. Okay.
which
Yeah.
is, no, I'm sorry, December 17th.
Okay.
Now, the paper is due before that. The due date on the paper is, oh my, the 10th. So, Danny, if you send me the paper by the 10th, all right? Other stuff, if you do 2 quizzes the last day, yeah, I'll give you credit for it.
Okay.
I sort of feel, I don't know, I feel that I'm being too, what would be a nice term,
Lenient?
flexible. But I'm just trying to be cognizant of other pressures that might be on you. I mean, in Adam's case, just because, you know, he's constantly drunk or something, that's the pressure of his own making. But
It wasn't a good idea to get
maybe
drunk on Sunday.
because, you know, the world is closing in on him. If I had you guys face to face, I would have a definite impression.
Just a lot of
Well, I was going to say a definite impression of whether you were actually trying. I think among the 5 of you, I've only had Dustin. Dustin, I had you for business law, right?
Yeah.
And I flunked him, but here he is. So, you know.
Can't get rid of me.
The really sad part is that you can't tell from this call, but I'm actually a very entertaining instructor. And you've missed out on just a lot of cheap attempts at humor that fall flat on their face. But the way they fall flat on their face is entertaining in itself. So anyway, just do this stuff. We'll be fine, okay?
Yeah, watch your YouTube videos. I made sure I gave it a like too, by the way.
Well, I don't think the YouTube videos do it justice. I think there's got to be a small casino somewhere in the middle of the country which has, you know, the big stage, but has a little lounge act off to the side where 5 old guys who are drunk all the time sit. And my goal is to get a stand-up thing, gig, whatever, in that little lounge thing, and just have these 5 old drunken guys who really have no idea even what's happening in front of them, going, "Guys, funny, man. Oh yeah, we're gonna come back here. Where are we?" Anyway, all right. So we're ready to talk about the paper.
Do it.
All right. Marketing is easy. Even as far as academic pursuits go, all academic pursuits have their own vocabulary. In the class I had Dustin for, the legal vocabulary is a little bit more, a little less intuitive. You guys have been doing marketing your entire lives. You buy stuff, some of you sell stuff, you work in an environment where, people are buying and selling things. So you understand how it works. So here's the deal. What I want you to do is come up with an idea for a product or service. It can be kind of off the wall. I don't want it to be totally off the wall, but the example I used when I did this the other day for the other part of the class, and the example that's on the Zoom video, I made up something on the spot. I called it the Willman bubble. So it's a shell which you can put around yourself and you can go anywhere. So you're not limited now by the pandemic from where you can go or with whom you can interact. You can eat, you can talk. I'm not sure whether, intimate relations with a significant other is possible. I haven't thought it through that much. So it's a made up thing. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. So having done that, then they're just a series of questions. Marketing is very linear. Do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. Now, there are other ways to do it, but the easy way to approach it is with just a series of linear decisions. So what do we have to do? We have this idea. The idea may be great or it may suck. First thing to ask yourselves is, does this meet the basic test? Is this idea valuable and different? If you come up with an idea for a chunk of metal that has a couple of four round things on it that roll, and there's something inside that makes those round things roll, and you think you have a new idea? No. We got automobiles all over the place, all right? But if you come up with one that goes faster or is less expensive or runs on hydrogen or something, then you have a different idea. The world is full of Me Too products. Being a Me Too product is not a bad thing, but you have to have a point of value and differentiation. If we had a class where you all had to attend, you could walk there from wherever you live. You could ride a bike, you could ride a motorcycle, you could ride a beat up old jalopy. You could ride your or your parents' brand new 2021 S-Class Mercedes. All you really needed to do was locomote. You had to get there. If you live 3 hours away by walking, you're probably not going to walk. Maybe you'll take public transportation, which is just another form of, wheeled enterprise. So your need to locomote then morphs into, if you have the resources, well, shit, my self-concept is I'm not going to go in some, rusted out piece of crap. I'm going to have a new whatever. If I can't have a Lamborghini, I'm not going. All right. So we have needs and wants. So let's go back to the Willman bubble. Does it fill a need? Yeah. You guys are all stuck somewhere. You can't do most of the things that you were doing prior to, the beginning of March of last year, or this year, I'm sorry. So yes, it meets a need for protection of you and protection of the people you're interacting with. Is it different? Doesn't exist. It's not a shot. It's not a mask, whatever. So it's valuable and different. If I say, okay, we can make this and we're going to charge $37,000 a piece, some people would say fine, and I'd have checks for $37,000 piling up in my inbox. I'm guessing you guys would not afford that. Could not afford that. So you might want one, but you can't do it. So for you, it is valuable. It's different in a bad way. It's different because you can't afford it. You can afford one of these ubiquitous blue masks. You can afford to make the decision to stay 6 feet away. You can afford those kinds of decisions, but you can't afford this particular bubble container. All right. So now we have an idea. We have to figure out, number one, does it exist? So you got to do some research. So this is called a situation analysis. What are the ways that we can protect ourselves during a pandemic? I'm pretty sure if you Google protective bubble online, you're going to not get any existing goods, products. So you'll always have, think of it this way, put this in the back of your mind. If you are involved in a marketing enterprise, you're sitting there trying to think of something new to do or something better to do. There's somebody sitting in another building at another table, or in your case, at another computer in his or her home, thinking the same thing. You don't get to make decisions in a vacuum. There are people out there who are going to try to eat your lunch even if they don't know you. And you're trying to eat their lunch even though you don't know them. So you come up with this idea for this, but somebody already came up with one yesterday and they got a patent on it today. And theirs is better because it's more flexible or it's cheaper or whatever. So it's not like the world is waiting for you and your ideas about how to communicate to possible purchasers. It's very fluid. So you got to do a little bit of research, a little bit of background research. If you have questions when I'm sort of done with this little hypothetical, I'll try to answer them, but I don't want to do your paper for you. All right, so you have that. That was what you were supposed to have turned in by now, a draft of that. So you have an idea and you have done something to see whether that idea flies. Okay, so now let's think about this. Now you have an idea, and what's going to determine if you're successful? If it is a product as opposed to a service, you have to get it made. Apple has to get its computers and its iPhones and all that stuff made. And Apple just switched from using Intel chips, which are behind the curve in terms of the nanotechnology, to its own chips, the M1 chip, which is in some, but not all of the new Apple stuff. Why did they do that? They wanted to control both the evolution of the technology and the supply chain. They didn't want to be in a position, oh, well, shit, that stuff comes from China and they don't like us. So, hey, we're SOL. I mean, Apple gets most of its stuff made in China, but just pretend that, So how are we going to get this thing made? Or if it's a service, your service is you're going to write college paper. Whoops. Saw somebody else. Antonio, are you there? Antonio, can you hear me? Antonio. Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know how long you were waiting. I didn't see your name up in my participant list.
You're okay.
We're sort of into a discussion of how the paper ought to go. I don't know that you've missed a whole lot, but before we're done, remind me to ask you if there's anything in particular on your mind as it relates to you in this course, as opposed to the general idea of the paper, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we were talking about creating a product, and the product I made up was something that I have called very self-absorbedly the Willman bubble, and it protects you during the pandemic. You get to go anywhere, do whatever you want. You can interact, you can eat, you can do all kinds of things, with the possible exception of procreate. Maybe you can even do that. We'll figure out a way. All right. So now we've talked about how we're going to determine whether that's something that's going to fly. Is it valuable? Is it different? Those are the two key words. Use those words in your paper. Valuable and different. They are the foundation for the concept of what is called a unique selling proposition. Dustin, you have like attractive women walking behind you. What's this?
That's my girlfriend.
Okay.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. I saw the little piece of paper you put up, say, referred to a woman walking behind me as attractive. So I read that and I was willing to do it. So
Thank goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that when you're putting those little green pieces of paper in that envelope and sending it to me, okay?
Got you.
All right. So
Just earned yourself a few extra.
thank you. I don't want to shake the envelope
Here
with metal inside, okay?
I'm
Adam.
sorry.
Hey, I'm Adam's girl.
All right. Well, hell, I wish I could turn around and say, and this is, you know, the significant
Me too.
other in my life, but she would think it'd be a total waste of time to talk to you guys because of all the bad things I've said about you. So that was really your mother, wasn't it, Adam?
Nah, I'm at work.
All right. So jumping ahead a little bit, but finishing the conversation about unique selling proposition, that's like a magic term for marketers. If you have a USP, a unique selling proposition, the premise is that because you have something that's valuable and different, it will work. You will make money. You will be a success. Not a given, but it's a way to present the concept. All right. So now we have this product and we have to decide if we can get it made. Why does it matter? Because if it costs us $37,500 to make each one and we're charging $37,000, we're screwed. We're losing money. So here's the deal. In this paper, you can make up any numbers you want. Just show me that you know there needs to be a number. So you come up with some idea and you can say that you project that the cost to make one will be 10 cents. And you project that you're going to sell 1 million. So 1 million times 10 cents is what, $100,000? Did I get the math right? Probably not. Why is that important? Because it has to balance against the money you're going to spend to market it. You can make the numbers be anything you want to. Just show me that you understand that there's a financial component to this. So if you tell me you're going to go on this massive purchase of, you know, click-through advertising on every friggin' website in the world, every friggin' social media outlet or app, I'd say, great, that's a good idea. How much is it going to cost you? I'm not asking you to figure that out. I'm asking you to pretend. So we're going to make $100,000 the first year. We have committed to spending half that, $50,000, to create visibility for our product. Those numbers are totally meaningless. I just want to see that you have the thought process. I'm not asking you to become marketers with real information. So feel free to create a fictional account, but don't make it be just, you know, ridiculous. All right. And I'm not going to judge you on the lucidity of the fake numbers you come up with. I'm going to judge you on your thinking process. But to think about it, you got to show me that you understand where the numbers matter. All right. So we're going to get them made. We have a cost to make it, or if it's a service, we have a cost. We have to hire people to provide the service. So there's something that's going to cost us, and we're going to price our product in one of several ways. You know what a loss leader is? You say one of two things. You get a flyer from the supermarket and it says, turkeys on sale for 1 cent a pound. How can they sell turkeys at Thanksgiving for 1 cent a pound? They're going to make so much money when you go to buy your turkey that the loss is going to lead to more sales for them. All right. Or you say, in another sense of the term loss leader, when we bring this to market, we don't want people to say, oh, I'd love to get one of them bubbles, but I can't afford it. So for the first 3 months, we're going to sell the bubbles below cost. So people, oh, what's that? Where'd you get that? Oh, that's a Willman bubble. How much did it cost? $17. Shit, what does it do? It protects me from the virus. I'm going to get one of those. And then later, after people know what it is and want one, you can escalate the price. It's not that simple, but that's the general idea, okay? So you make up some numbers about how many you're going to make, or, you know, what the service is and how you're going to staff for it. And then we have to basically do a couple of things. Anything you look up, you go online, you Google some aspect of this, that's research. That is secondary research. You're looking to see what somebody else wrote about protective bubbles or other things that might compete with protective bubbles. Original research would be if you went out and it's like trying to predict a presidential election outcome. You go out and you ask people, how much would you pay for a protective bubble? Well, what's it going to protect me from? Hay fever. I can go buy, you know, something over-the-counter drug. Going to protect you from dying from COVID-19. I would like to have one of those. How much is it going to cost? And so you try to establish a price point. You say, well, it may cost, and would you buy one if it cost $10? Absolutely. $100? Sure. $500? No problem. $1,000. That's a lot of money. I've been out of work, you know, for the last 6 months, but geez, I don't want to die. I want my family to be protected. Okay, yeah, I'll get, you know, 1,000, 10,000. Whoa, where am I going to get $10,000? I used up all my savings to, you know, pay the rent and the mortgage, whatever, for the last 6 months. So you reach what is called a price point, where somebody is saying, I can't or I won't spend that amount of money for that. The utility I'm going to get from that is not so attractive, or I can't afford it. So in this case, the utility, saving you from dying from COVID or getting COVID, would be very attractive. More attractive to me because I'm old, less attractive to you because you're not old, okay? But you might want to get one for your grandparents. Or if you have a newborn, you might want to get one to protect the, you know, your new baby or something, who knows? Adam would get one because he could go, you know, back to the bar every night and get drunk, and he could do it without, you know, worrying about, you know, contracting COVID-19. So we're trying to figure out, but that's original research where you're actually talking to people. Two kinds of research, guys, quantitative and qualitative. I'm hoping that you're actually bored by this because you read it already in the textbook. But from the looks on your faces, I'm not so sure that I'm
following you.
things here that are, as we say, virgin material. So quantitative and qualitative. The last presidential election, all the polls that were wrong, that was quantitative research. Researchers basically say, if we design a test sample of, you'd be amazed at how small the number is, but basically around 2,000 or 2,800 people for national. And we do the right little cells. So we have the right number of rural people and people of color and old people and blah, 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 we can predict. And in some gross way, that's true. You can do national polls with as few as 400 people in the sample, depending on how nice, how subtle you want the results to be. So the polls weren't that far off. But in a presidential election, if you're off by a couple of tenths of a percentage point, all of a sudden, you know, the whole electoral college picture changes and all that. So pollsters are taking a deservedly, I don't want to say bad rap, they're taking some legitimate criticism for, you know, having seemed to project a landslide as opposed to the, you know, I mean, Biden ended up winning by what, 4 million votes, or a lot of votes, but the outcome was in doubt. So that's quantitative. What does quantitative allow you to do? You look at a little sample and you can extrapolate. Talk to 2,800 people, Trump's gonna win, okay? So there are subtleties called degree of confidence, margin of error, but basically you're talking to enough people that you feel that you can project what's gonna happen. The other side of the research coin is qualitative research, which is not extrapolatable. It is what we call directional. So I'd say I want to sell the Willman bubble to college kids. I go out and I recruit like 10, 12 college kids to sit in a room for a focus group. And I say to them, so excuse me, what's your name? Danny. So Danny, if there were such a thing, how would you feel about that? I wouldn't really care. You know, Adam, how would you feel about that? I don't really care either because I'm drunk most of the time, but my girlfriend might want me to get one because, you know, she's a little bit more, little less sanguine about these things. And, you know, I'm having trouble hanging on to her anyway. So maybe if I did this, I would show what a caring, you know, rational, intelligent guy I am. So you get a bunch of people in a room, and what you have is a bunch of people reacting. So if there are 10 people and everyone says, I want to buy one of these things, that doesn't mean it's a 100% chance of success. It just means that those 10 people were telling you something. And if they all happen to agree, what you say is the direction that you got from that was that you were on the right track. But if 8 out of 10 said, I want to buy it, you can't say there's an 80% chance of success. It doesn't work that way. And then there are individual interviews. I don't know whether in the old days, any of you ever got stopped on the street or in a mall or somewhere. Somebody says, excuse me, can I ask you a couple of questions? You're coming out of Hollister and, you know, you're whatever. Do you shop here often? Nope. My girlfriend's inside and I'm just waiting for her. Or you're at Taco Bell and you're buying the cheesy gordita or something. Why are you buying that? I saw an ad on TV. Or it's the thing that's on, it's the $5 special. Or there's always a reason. And so you aggregate all that anecdotal information and it helps you figure out, it directs you to some decisions, but you can't say that it gives you a quantitative certainty, even though there really is no quantitative certainty on the quantitative side. So we have original research that's asking questions, talking to people about your particular product. Have you guys seen, I don't know whether you watch TV, but there's a commercial on now about I think it's a form of Cheez-It, and there's a focus group, and the guy who created this new thin Cheez-It is looking through the two-way mirror, and the people are going crazy and they want more, and you know, he's all excited and people are like, you know, demanding more. And so that's basically what we're talking about. Okay. So you've done some secondary research, you've you know, Googled it and you followed up. Don't look at the paid responses on the first page. Look at the organic responses and see if there's something that's going to help you. All right, so now you have the information as best you can that's going to allow you to do a SWOT analysis. Think of a 4-quadrant cross. Over here, we have things that are internal to the product. Over here, we have things that are external. What does that mean? We're going to come up with strengths and weaknesses for our product. So one of the weaknesses is that it's going to cost so much friggin' money that even people who want it may not be able to buy it. What's a strength? It can do what everybody wants. Everybody wants to be protected from this damn virus. Everybody wants to be able to get out of their house and go hang out with their family for Thanksgiving. All right? Everybody's talking about pods. What pod are you in, Dustin? I'm in a pod with me, myself, and I. Or you live at home, so maybe you're in a pod with your mom and dad. Or do you have siblings? Do your siblings go off to school or not? You know, so everybody's thinking about that. Grandma isn't coming from wherever because she ain't in our pod. She's hanging around with the people, you know, at bingo. And who knows, you know, what they've encountered. So yes, we have something that people would want. It actually has great value, and the weakness might be that it costs too much. Threats and opportunities are external. Threat. All of a sudden, everybody gets a Pfizer or a Moderna vaccination shot. And all of a sudden, we have herd immunity and nobody's worried anymore. We got this great friggin' Wilman bubble, but there's no market for it because nobody's getting sick anymore. That wasn't because of anything that was inadequate about our bubble. It was because the world changed, the external world. Opportunities. All of a sudden, the death rate from COVID starts to skyrocket. People wanted this bubble before, but now this overwhelming, unprecedented surge in illness and death makes people say, $37,000, I'll find the money somewhere because I don't want everybody in my family to die. That isn't because you made a better product. Your product's the same as it was, but something external to you has created more of a demand for it. Think about toothpaste. In the old days, toothpaste was supposed to prevent cavities. And most toothpastes wanted to get the American Dental Association seal of approval, which went something like this. The ADA has found this to be an effective decay preventive dentifrice, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so fewer cavities. Then somebody said, well, wait a minute. We could make it so it freshens breath, or we can make it so teeth are whiter. Why do you guys give a damn whether your breath is fresh or your teeth are whiter? Assuming that those two conditions don't affect your actual dental health. I mean, I realize you can have bad breath for reasons that have to do with health inadequacies. I would say, just for the sake of this discussion, you care because it helps you be more attractive. You walk up to the woman of your dreams and you breathe and she goes, or in your case, Francine, the man of your dreams, or not. I don't want to be binary about this, but all right. Or white teeth. Somebody told you that white teeth are more attractive. And we've been conditioned to believe that. Are white teeth just intrinsically more attractive? No. There are cultures where it doesn't matter. There are cultures where there are root eaters whose teeth are, extraordinary colors. And it's not that they get turned down at the local bar. All right. So there are things that people have decided they want to do with toothpaste. And so you say, okay, well, they all prevent cavities, but I want them white teeth. I want that fresher breath. I want to be able to pick up whoever I want to pick up at that bar where Adam is getting drunk. So I want to get that. Okay. Take a look at Adam's teeth, guys. They seem to be pretty white. I think he got sucked into buying the whitening toothpaste. All right.
I did. Rest.
All right. So now we're at a point where we have an idea of what's going on and we have to bring this product to market. So you made up some numbers, you got the Willman bubble fabricated somewhere, and now we're up to the 4 Ps. We have a product, P number 1. We have a price, P number 2, $37,000. Do we have distribution? The third P is called place, but it means where can you go get it? If this is available at every Rite Aid and Walgreens and CVS, then you got distribution. If it's only available in one place in Mendocino, California, and you have to go there and purchase it like directly, they're not going to send it to you. Well, shit. I'm thinking you still want it. You borrowed the $37,000 to pay for it. Now I got to get my sorry ass all the way across the country to buy this thing. They don't have good distribution. So I think that's self-evident. And the 4th P is one of the keys to marketing communications, not just marketing. It's promotion. Nobody's going to buy it if they don't know it exists. I got this great bubble. It's going to protect everybody. And let's pretend it's at a reasonable price. If nobody knows, I ain't selling any. So how am I going to get them to know? I have to create a message. Save your life with the Willman bubble. Okay, that's kind of a unspectacular marketing line. And how do you guys know about stuff that you buy? You see pop-up ads online. In the old days, you might have seen commercials on cable or broadcast television. I know you don't read newspapers, but there are some. Maybe you have a particular hobby, and so there's a magazine that's dedicated to that, and you see print advertising. Maybe when you're in the car, you're not listening to your playlist, you're actually listening to something on the radio. You might hear a commercial. So you're driving down the road, there are billboards. That's called out-of-home advertising. Billboards are the easiest example. You walk into a supermarket or any kind of retail store, you see those little things on the floor decals. That's a form of advertising. You're walking down the aisle, it points you to this brand of toilet paper. Or there are things called shelf talkers. So you're walking down the aisle and here's a little gadget attached to a shelf and you can pull out a coupon for that product. Oh, look at this. We can save $2.50 on whatever this is. So there are a whole range of things. What I want you to do is hypothesize what you're going to use to market this. The Willman bubble would rely on another form of marketing. All those things I just mentioned, you have to pay for. You got to pay for the floor decal, you got to pay for the shelf talker, you got to pay for the ad, the newspaper, whatever. But you control the message. There is the flip side of that's called earned media, meaning you didn't pay for it, you earned it. That's when the Wall Street Journal writes a big front page article about the new Willman bubble. And they say this is going to save thousands of lives and whatever, whatever. You didn't pay for that story. You don't have enough money to pay for that story. You might have hired a PR person that helped get that story placed. So there could be some cost to you, but you earned that because the Willman bubble just appeals to some objective third party as being maybe the answer to the COVID crisis. All right, promotions is another piece of this. I told you about loss leaders. So you say, for the first week, the Willman bubble will not be $37,000. If you order by tonight at midnight, you can get one for $17,000. Well, shit, it's going to save my life. It's going to get me back in the bar. I'm going to order one, and I'm going to order it now. So you're motivated by a promotion of some kind. Think of all the coupons you see online, all the incentives that you're given every day to go to a site, to buy something, to make a purchase online, whatever. That's promotion. So now we got our product, we have a message, it's going to save your life. We have met the burden of the 4 Ps. We have a media mix, which is, you know, this social media. You decide whether you think this is like, so if you were going to exclusively use social media, what would you use? I'm thinking you wouldn't use LinkedIn. That's kind of a business thing. You might well decide to use Facebook, or you might say, well, Facebook is passe. I'm going to get a bunch of pictures posted on Instagram. I don't know what you'd say, and I don't care. I care that you make it up. And you say, I think the best way to do this is this. So Adam, behind you, is that a Yuengling sign? The beer behind you? Adam? Adam? Yes, it's a Yuengling.
Actually,
yeah. So that's a form of advertising. And I don't know why Adam has that there, but if Adam were an influencer, a social media influencer, and he was on talking about something else, and all the people who follow him, does he drink Yuengling? Oh shit, I want to be just like Adam. I'll drink Yuengling too. You've all seen TV. Look, if you guys watch NFL games, what happens when the quarterback who just threw an interception comes off the field and he wants to see what the hell that defense was? I thought it was man-to-man. It was actually a sliding zone. He picks up the little blue computer. Is that computer labeled? Do we know who made that computer? Who knows? Quickly. You guys suck.
I don't watch football.
You suck even worse.
I'm sorry.
That's un-American, Dustin.
If I did, you would like me even less because I'm from New England.
Well, I'm liking you a little bit more because even though you've had some success, I'm going to say that when this season's over, we're going to say it was Brady, not Belichick. But we'll see. All right. So it's a Microsoft Surface. So the fact that that's seen by everybody in the world except you 5, you know, that's a form of product placement advertising. All right. They're showing you stats all the time. They keep saying AWS, which stands for what? Amazon Web Services. Never mind. All right. You guys are all going to flunk. All right. Let's just end the call now. There's no point in continuing. You're just wasting my time. Okay. So now, what?
Hey, interrupt. I actually got to get back to work, but can I find the rest of this call on YouTube?
And you can find the exact same thing, not quite as funny, but the exact same thing already there from earlier in the week.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for your time.
What?
Appreciate it. I said thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, don't lie to me, Adam. You know.
No, it was a great time. I had a great time.
All right, go have a beer for me.
All right, we'll do after my shift. All right, you guys, everybody have a good night.
Thank God he left, you know, because he was holding us back. I think he was dragging us down. So now you got your message. You have a way to distribute the message. I want you to make up some numbers. So in my early hypothetical, we were going to make $100,000. We were going to spend half of it on marketing. That's a ridiculous number for what we're talking about. Just make it up. Just show me that you understand the concept of allocating a certain amount to this and a certain amount to that. As I said, this is not an arithmetic test. This is not math, all right? Then how are we going to decide if we were successful? Francine, since I can't see you, turn on your microphone and tell me, just give me a common sense answer about how we would tell if the Willman bubble had been a success.
Meaning for marketing?
Yes.
I'm older, so I always go by word of mouth and reviews.
Okay, that would be, word of mouth is actually the most effective form of advertising, but I would say that the answer is more obvious than that. The answer would be, did we sell a bunch of them? Not did we get a big story in the Wall Street Journal, but did we actually sell these things? So if after 6 months, we've sold 1 million of these things, I'd say we've been a success. There are other metrics along the way. Just think about what would be an indicator of success for whatever concept you come up with. What would be a measure of success for the first toothpaste to promise brighter teeth and fresher breath? I think it would also be sales. But toothpaste manufacturers will be looking at those numbers and saying, we're selling it to young people because they're the ones hanging out, trying to hook up. They care about fresh breath and whiter teeth more than old people do. I'm not sure that's true, but you know, so that you're looking for information. So just think about, other than whether you have, and let's pretend we were selling these at the introductory price. So yeah, we sold a whole shitload, but we lost a lot of money because it was that first month and we said we're going to sell them for, you know, pennies on the dollar. And then we start to charge the real number and people stop buying. Or we're all ready to charge a real number and all of a sudden everybody at the CDC is saying, hey, we're on the brink of herd immunity. We've you know, inoculated so many people that we're good to go. And you're there with, you know, tens of thousands of Willman bubbles, which do exactly what we thought they would do. They protect people. Don't need that. I'm not going to spend $37,000 on something that I don't need because there's no contagion. There's no little aerosols floating around. I'm safe. I'm good. I can do whatever I want. All right. And then when we look at that, it gives us what the last piece we need, which is an evaluation. And most products have a life cycle. So you have an introduction. If it is relatively expensive, you have a concept called for any product, early adopters. The first hydrogen car, got to have one of those because I'm like a cool guy and whatever is new and better, I'm going to get one. And then there's somebody else that says, I don't want to be the first one. I bought an electric car and there were no places to charge it and blah, blah, blah. It was a big pain in the ass. So I'm going to wait and see if this really works. Or all those first electric cars, the batteries all blew up and, you know, there were fires and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to wait until whatever. So you have a life cycle, which is one of the things that's covered in your textbook. All right, that's it. So just make it up. Any fact you need, make it up. But use that latitude that I'm giving you to show me that you know what facts you need. I'm not going to judge you on the quality of the fiction. I'm going to judge you on whether you were able to create fiction to bring these pieces together so that it makes a little bit of sense. Mr. Hall, do you understand what I've said?
I do.
Okay. Miss Harris, do you understand what I said?
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Lewis, do you understand what I said?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Baker.
Yep, I understand.
Okay. Questions? I was just so brilliant that all your questions were preempted by my brilliance. Wow.
My stress level is definitely lowered now.
Look at
About
me.
before the
So good. I'm going to abandon that idea of getting that casino lounge act in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm going to pursue a new job. I'm going to become an adjunct instructor at a community college. I've raised my sights.
hot dog.
All right. Anything anybody want to talk about? Gus? Danny?
Late work.
Antonio?
Yeah. I know I have a few missing assignments. You still accept late work?
I'll
Okay.
accept it. Yeah, maybe I was talking about that before you got on. You make the effort, get it done. If Blackboard refuses to take a score for an old quiz, just send me a note saying you did it. I'll believe you.
Okay.
If you want to lie to me, you'll have to look in the mirror tomorrow and, live with yourself for being an unethical, immoral piece of shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Francine, anything on your mind?
No, you pretty much answered everything.
When you're good, you're good. I mean, really. All right. If something occurs to you, or if there's something you don't want to discuss when other people are part of the conversation, if you tell me you either want to have a phone call or a Zoom call, or you just want to send me a note, I'm happy to discuss whatever you want to discuss. All right.
All right.
And I wasted a whole hour of your time, but you were very indulgent. Just so you know, Adam doesn't have a job. He just was making that up,
Oh, yeah, he definitely went there and was like, let me just squat here,
Right.
make me feel a little important.
Yep. Anyway, all right, guys, that'll do it. I will post this video, but you can look at the one that's already there if you want to kind of review it in your mind. I used the same example I used a couple days ago. I was a little bit more entertaining this time, but the basic thrust was there. And if you have a concern, just let me know and we'll work it out. All right.
All right, cool.
Thank
All
you.
right. You guys stay
All right.
safe. All right. And
You as
You
well.
too.
with you before Thanksgiving, enjoy the holiday, but don't bust your pod.
I'll be working, so I'll do my best.
All right. We like people who work. As
Thank
opposed
you.
to Danny or Dustin, are just sitting on their asses doing nothing. But all right,
You got
guys.
that right.
All right. Be good, guys.
All right,
All
have
All
a
right.
right. See ya.
You too.
Bye-bye.
See you.